7:33 here on the East Coast. Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. Good morning to you. If you're just now tuning in, I'm Gina Francine. Right now, we do want to turn to a breaking news alert, a tragic news. Viewer discretion is advised. The latest video on your screen, we're learning at least 9 people are dead, dozens are injured after a fire at an assisted living facility in Massachusetts. Around 50 firefighters responded to the Sunday night fire at the Gabriel House complex in Fall River. They found several elderly residents hanging out of their windows looking to be rescued. Officials say more than 30 people were taken to the hospital, including one with critical injuries. 5 firefighters also sustained minor injuries during the response. Around 70 people live inside of the facility. The cause of the fire remains under investigation this Monday. As we work to learn more, moments ago, officials on the ground providing an update. Let's take a listen.
Actually, I think they've all been released.
Can you talk about the manpower that came out here? You mentioned earlier that every single firefighter that was working in the city last night came out. Can you just talk about the manpower that it took to put this out?
Yeah, and it wasn't just the fire department. I want to make sure that that's clear. We had 35 firefighters immediately on scene, but I was here and every police officer in the city was here too. And everybody was rescuing people. EMS was in the triage area and they were actively rescuing and saving lives. So we have a very strong and powerful public safety presence here in the city of Fall River, and it worked the way it was supposed to last night to save lives.
Of course, this being an assisted living facility, some residents with mobility issues and all, does that impact the life-saving procedures?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Clarification, was it 9:30 or 9:50?
Those numbers are jumping in my head. I believe it was just shortly after 9:30 that the boxing came in. Yeah, it was an automatic alarm that came to us.
Of those 30 people you mentioned that were transported to the hospital, what are the range of their conditions most affected? Are they okay?
Yeah, so there's one in critical condition right now. I don't know the condition of all the others, and it's going to be upwards of 30 that were transported. At the very beginning, there were people that were self-transporting. The hospital's right across the street, so we'll have a better idea once we can sink our teeth into this morning exactly how many people self-transported, how many were transported, and what their conditions are.
What hospital are they at? Some here.
People were transported to St. Anne's, St. Luke's in New Bedford, Charlton in Fall River, and I believe from there some were transported to Rhode Island Hospital.
Has anyone had to be transported out of the hospital? What wing, and with all the medical beds that are being used up, has there been any other movements inside the hospital right now?
I don't have that information for you, but the EMS was very particular about spreading the victims and where they were transported, not to overwhelm any particular hospital.
For the crews who showed up last night, what do you hope that they take from this, and that maybe going forward everyone learns?
I'm sorry for
the first responders. What do you hope everyone learns from dealing with a situation like this?
I really can't speak to that right now. I mean, it's too raw right now. I think my next, after we leave here, my next step is to go to the stations and to make sure that we're checking in with those firefighters to make sure they have the support they need. Everyone thinks firefighters are heroes and they're just designed to be able to deal with anything, but that's not the case. And the mental health aspect of this for not just the firefighters, the police officers, the EMTs, and the families that were here, that's a message that I'm a strong advocate for mental health support. And I would say that for anybody that was at this scene last night, not just firefighters, police officers, EMS, to seek the help that you need to deal with the tragic situation like this. Nobody's programmed to deal with this. Thank you, guys.
Mayor, what kind of impact do you think this has on the city?
I think these are the kind of things that a city is judged by. How do they deal with a problem like this? This was dropped in our lap last night at 9:30 on a Sunday night, and the city was able to mobilize extremely quickly to prevent further deaths, get people into shelter, get people medical care. It was working like a trip hammer over here, and I'm very proud of everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Next updates will probably come from press release.
All right, so tragic news if you're just now tuning in. Good morning to you. We're learning at least 9 people are dead. Dozens are injured after a fire at an assisted living facility in Massachusetts. Also learning this Monday, 5 firefighters also sustained minor injuries during the response. The latest on your screen from the Massachusetts Department of Fire Services. They say, quote, on X, our hearts are with the city of Fall River and the families grieving after last night's terrible fire in an assisted living facility. Thank you to Fall River FD, PD, EMS, EMA, and others who undertook heroic efforts to rescue and treat occupants, end quote. You can imagine a high emotions this Monday morning following this tragedy. Of course, if we get any other updates, you'll be the first to know right here on Live Now from Fox. As we are following this breaking news out in Fall River, Massachusetts on this Monday, I do want to transition to give you a live look there here at 7:38 on the East Coast.